Also, please do pray for Uncle Joe's daughter Angela in the summer, and also Emmanuel, whom I couldn't contact since I visited him 2 weeks ago. Now, let us see what happened in our Sunday school. Part 1 will be today's demonstration. Part 2 will be that after the closing hymn, Owen is going to give a little recollection of his school pilgrimage to Mejugorje. Okay, so will you come forward, please? Actually, why not have part 2 after part 1 before the blessing? Okay, so, very nice. I'm spotting the treasures. What happened today?
Right, well, today we focused on how we treat worldly possessions rather than how we look at heavenly possessions. So, on earth, we have, we're taught in Catholicism that we need to, think of God as first, and many Catholics will say, okay, yeah, I think of God as first, I go to church every Sunday or every day. But sometimes it doesn't exactly live up to that, because a lot of the time where you could be, going to church, praying, doing the rosary, you spend, doing games or hanging out with children, which is good, but you have all this free time and you do get bored eventually. It'll be good to actually spend some time with God, which will, actually help you in your life. So in our artwork, what we've done is like a jury scale type of thing, where on one side we've done human possessions like toys, bottles of like drinks, or like gaming consoles and that type of stuff. On the other side, we tried to depict heaven, which is obviously, I looked at it more like a gallery, I guess, in a gold type colour, because it's showing us how Jesus lived, like it's different pieces of artworks, and it's showing us how we need to live through Jesus.
Thank you very much for this very well-focused presentation. Let me start with Alicia's treasure chest. We have a big chest like this up in the loft. It would be a great miracle if it was full of gold. That was in my imagination when I opened it first, but I was kind of disappointed, but not with this. It's such a wonderful tone for green for the background. It's a very cheerful green. It's almost like when a color is gently tickling us, because it's so vibrant and so gentle. And what Owen said about spending prime time with God, it's a bit like this, that is gently transforms our life. And when we give time to God and energy, we don't get as tired as we think. Actually, we are given more energy and time somehow, because we can organize our day better. Our will gets a bit stronger to do those daily chores in time. So it's a very gentle support from God, a very harmonious image. I always spot young people's character and resonance of their souls to life. Alicia, keep this harmonious, very warm presence to things. Okay, thank you. Whose composition was it? Okay. Who played the bigger part in it? Okay. Which was your part in it? Yeah, the scale. It's a very powerful scale. There is a period in art history called the Baroque Age, which was the Catholic Church's response in terms of art to the Protestantism. And it reminds me of a Baroque painting or fresco in churches when there is dramatic movement, wide gestures, very theatrical gestures for the figures, but it's full of movement and energy. But the real drama is, and I really like it, God is, the angel of judgment is holding a scale in his hand. On one side of the scale we can see these treasures. Are these treasures? Yeah, these treasures. Few of them are totally beautiful in one piece, but in my reading few of these treasures are a bit broken, and perhaps it's a gentle warning that we have to cherish God's gifts and care for them, because that will be our judgment. Have we given praise for these wonderful gifts? Did we care for creation? And now when there is no rain for months now, and you heard in the news the largest wildfires, forest fires in Spain and in France are taking place. There was one up in Scotland. It doesn't matter that it was sheer human stupidity, selfishness, that they set the fire, they set the forest on fire by a barbecue or thrown a cigarette butt. But we are responsible, all of us, for the broken gift of creation and nature. On Radio 4 we heard that bumblebees are disappearing entirely and wiped out in regions, because I learned that bumblebees, they can't cool their body if the temperature reaches 40 or above. They simply just die. They can't fly and they die of starvation. So when we spot a bird, when we enjoy our allotment, just let us try to motivate ourselves to bring a little bit of change to our environment through our lifestyle. But thank you very much. This was part one of the presentation, but in order not to break it, now Alicia and Esperanza, if you will go to your places, and now we are going to listen to how did you feel during that pilgrimage, how it was organized. My spies reported that not everyone could go and join this school trip who wanted, but it was a careful selection. So how does it feel to attend a pilgrimage as a young person, and what, tell us about that?
Why, it's really hard to like summarize it a whole week in like 5 minutes, but I'll just skip to the main parts. So we went to either 2 church sessions or 1 church session and a adoration. As I was referring to my previous point now, obviously you spend so much time focusing on doing your own thing, playing your own games, doing all that, but you have all experienced a time where you've been extremely bored, or you're like extremely just frustrated or angry. And if you're extremely bored, you have nothing else to do, just get some prayer when it's not that hard. I'm a Catholic, but I didn't really find enough time to actually get stuff in. I thought, okay, I don't have enough time, I'll just do it at church, I'm happy. But it's not really like that. I found in the so many hours I had, I was able to socialise, do events and that, but also have enough time to go to church, do rosaries, that type of stuff. Now, what I'm going to move on to here is basically we as Catholics believe that the God to human relationship is a bit more, I don't want to say we treat him as a higher being, even though he is. I feel like we should treat it more as a friendship, because obviously God is a higher being and he's more powerful, that's fine. But when you treat him like a friendship, like we did on the pilgrimage, it just shows that he's on earth more. He acts on earth, he acts for other people more. It's much more obvious. It opens almost a new doorway for people. Like, obviously, in Mejugorje, it was a place of the visionaries. So, I'm pretty sure it was about 5 children aged about 10-ish to 16. Each got a visionary of Mary, Mother of God. And using that, they spoke regularly with her. And through speaking regularly with her, they helped better both the environment that they are in as well as the larger world, because obviously we have popes, we have kings and all that, to give new ideas about the religion, because obviously the world's forever changing, so should the Catholic faith. However, with these visionaries, they're showing how we can grow a connection to God, and how that God can actually act on earth a lot more than you think. Like, we actually experienced a few almost miracles while on the pilgrimage. There was this child, I'm not going to say her name. We were climbing up the cross mountain. It's really hard, really, really hard. We were climbing up the mountain, and she was almost at the bottom. She just could not climb it at all, until what was thought as an angel came up. Quite an old lady, you know, we could see she was old. With a cane, she just grabbed her arm, linked it, and started going up with her. As soon as she got to the top, she looked back and she could not find that lady anywhere. And she could not find that lady until one of the last days, where we found her again by the church. All she did was tell us about the visionaries, and then we didn't see her again for the rest of the day. It's almost like God was kind of teasing us, because it feels, you want to keep talking to this person because you know, okay, even if you're not of the faith, this person helped me, you're going to want to speak to them. But as soon as everyone turned around, she automatically just disappears. And that is one of many miracles that we saw then. Wow. What I'd also like to say here is, I feel like Catholics make the religion harder than it has to be. It doesn't have to be that hard. Like, while I was on the Bosnia trip, I know, ranting a lot, but obviously we did all the stuff. We went to church, we did activities like climbing across mountain, or even just socializing. I feel like it's just very helpful just to, again, I'm going to revert back to this, to have a bit more freedom with the religion, because it doesn't have to be so serious. In no way, shape or form am I saying that it has to control your life. No, that's not what I'm trying to get at here. All I'm trying to say is that it's useful to have just someone there, and don't treat it like it's some higher being. Don't say like, oh, it's so much better than me. Sure, he is, but that's not what you can try and get at. You try and treat him as if you would your best friend, I think, is what I'm trying to get at here. But overall, the trip was very nice. We had a anonymous donor who thankfully paid for the trip, because it would have been really expensive. Yeah, I feel like overall it just brings a new perspective. Because I was speaking with my chaplain before the trip, who ran it. She was saying like, oh yeah, everyone who came from different schools saying, oh yeah, it gives a new perspective. When you hear that second hand, it doesn't, sound the most believable. And when you read, £100 holiday to Bosnia, and annual pilgrimage, you're bound to get a bit, iffed out. But I feel like it does actually bring a new perspective. And if you could, even if you're not staying for the full week like I did, go maybe for like 3 days, 3-4 days. It is very helpful. I know it's a very religious-based country. Literally, we had to walk about 15 minutes to get to a corner store. All the streets were, like based on Mary, based on Christ, more Mary, more Christ. Kind of got annoying, but whatever. But yeah, overall, I'd say please do go, even if it's only for a few days. It's very useful. It brings a new perspective, and I'd also like to say something special here. Adoration. I'm not sure if any of you've gone to adoration before, but it's useful, I think, because it brings a new light, I guess, to how you view the religion. It gives an hour that isn't forced prayer, where you have to reflect on words that have already been said. It gives you an hour to just, even if you're not fully Catholic, just gives you an hour to peace, just to look around, hear the birds. I'm pretty sure there was actually an exorcism the last time I went. There's a person behind me screaming their hearts out. But yeah, overall, I'd say go to adoration. It is so useful. That's what I have to say here.